Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Boiled Walnut, and today I have a commentary on the Gears of War 4 beta. This was a game that I literally just got a couple minutes ago. I decided, because the game before I was doing really good, so the game after I decided to use the Xbox DVR and just take 5-minute clips until the game ended and just post it. And I started off, like, basically throughout the entire game, my shot with the sniper was really on, and I don't know what it was. But, and I couldn't really explain it. This is my first sniper, like, heavily game that I've had. Like, there are games where I picked up the sniper, but I never really got a chance to use it, just because I died a lot. And, my team isn't really the best, but sometimes you get into games like that. I'm not going to spoil what happens, but you can go ahead and just wait for that. I'm just going to go ahead and take the time that I have right now to talk about a couple things and who I am, and just for you to enjoy the gameplay in the background as you're listening to my opinion on the game so far. First impressions for Gears of War 4. I'm really enjoying it. I ended up getting my beta code 2 days late for some reason. I don't know why. You're supposed to get it on the 18th, and today for me right now is the 20th, so I actually got it a little bit late, but that's okay, because I think you get to play it for 2 weeks maybe, which is plenty of time for me to fully base my opinion off this game. But I just want to give first impressions. These are first impressions, keep that in mind. These are how I feel about the game at the moment, what's going on. So, right off the bat, I've been playing Gears of War since Gears of War 2. I'm 17 years old, so when Gears of War 2 came out, I was, oh god, I don't know, I was maybe 12, maybe, something like that. I was like 10, 12, something around there. So I've been playing it for quite some time, and of course back then I didn't take games as seriously, but Gears of War was always a fun game for me to play, especially playing Horde with my family. It was actually a lot of fun, and the gore really intrigued me, because there was no other game at the time that I knew of that had the gore that this game had, besides maybe God of War, but I'm talking about, you know, third-person shooter, multiplayer type game. And after Gears of War 2, I did play Gears of War 3, and I think that is my favorite Gears of War so far. See, the thing about Gears of War 2 is that it was really clunky and stuff, but I feel as though it had the best maps out of any Gears of War game. But Gears of War 3 just all around had everything you needed. It had Beast Mode, Horde Mode, all that stuff, a whole bunch of new stuff for any type of player. And I believe that it was the best Gears of War. Then, of course, after that, I picked up Gears of War 1 to go back and see what that was like, and I had a rough time on that because I sucked. I was terrible at Gears of War 1. Right here, I was waiting for the guy to roll because I wanted a Superman, because I was really feeling my shot. But Gears of War 3. After that was Gears of War Judgment, and at first I thought Judgment was a good game. It was mainly because I was waiting for another Gears of War game like most people, and I did all the pre-release stuff. I got the paintball skin for my Nasher and Lancer and all that stuff before the game came out. If you watch the videos, you would get certain skins and stuff for the gun, but sadly that was a huge letdown. The game didn't feel like Gears of War, honestly, and I just didn't like it at all. And then Gears of War UE, I don't have much to really say. I played the beta a lot, but after that I wasn't able to get a hold of the actual copy, and I didn't get it until like half a year later, so I didn't really have a lot of time put into that, and I'm personally not that good at Gears of War 1, so that's also another reason why it was kind of a letdown. No, it wasn't a letdown, it was a really good game. It was just personally, I didn't find myself enjoying it as much as someone else that actually enjoyed Gears of War 1 would. Now we're here. We're at Gears of War 4. What do we have? We have a new company, the Coalition, taking over and giving us their all right now. And they've added a couple new mechanics. Some I haven't used yet because I've simply never had the chance to. There's a couple new ways to execute people, such as you can like pull them over cover and knife them. And a lot of stuff right now is there's counters to things, like introduced into Gears of War 3 was mantle kicking, where if I'm on like a sandbag or a barrier, a two-sided barrier, where I can be on one side and the enemy can be on the other, if you were to hold up on the analog stick and press A, and you got the indication to mantle kick them, you would kick them and stun them, and it would give you plenty of time to kill. And this was a way to counter those stalemate battles where you're like on one side of the barrier and the enemy's on the other side of the barrier, and you just end up having a shotgun Nasher fight back and forth, and it's just a big stalemate. Now in Gears of War 4, there's a couple new things you can do. When someone goes to mantle, I believe this is right. If I read the intro to the game right, the message of the day message it gave you when you started up the game, you're able to when someone goes to mantle kick you, you're able to press a button to counter that, so you can I guess pull their leg or something. There's also something where you can grab them up and over from the cover, but that can also be countered by pressing a button in time. So there's like new ways to get out of barrier to barrier fights, and there's also ways to counter that. And honestly, I haven't ran into a lot of barrier to barrier fights simply because I am the type of character that loves to and right there my teammate was just shooting me, just showing you how stupid they were. I had no idea what was going on. I'm guessing he saw that I had a meat shield and he was shooting it thinking I was the enemy. I don't know. Honestly, I haven't seen that in a while. But and especially since he's a Gears of War UE owner, you would think that he would know how to play. Anyways, so there's ways to counter barrier fights. I don't find myself getting into a lot of those because I like to move around a lot. I'm a very, very impatient player. You can tell from my gameplay right now. That's one of my faults in any game I play, honestly, is I'm very, very impatient, and I'm way, way too aggressive. And a player that's smart enough to be patient and counter that will beat me 9 times out of 10. And that's just fact, and I gotta accept that. And the movement in Gears of War 4, it's kind of, it's good, it's really good, but it's somewhat stiff, and I kind of like it. It's kind of like a hybrid of Gears of War 2 movement and Gears of War 3. Like, Gears of War 3 was, like, really, really fluid. Like, the wall bouncing and stuff was, like, really nice and smooth. For me, maybe a little bit too smooth, if that's, like, even a thing. But the movement in this game, it's somewhat stiff, and it's, like, somewhat more precise, I guess you could say. However, there are those occasional moments where you swear to God you wanted to go towards a wall and you end up rolling. And of course, there are moments with the Nasher where it's very inconsistent. Like right there, could have sworn I could have sworn I point blanked that guy right there. I got 2 back-to-back point blanks. I could have sworn. But that's just the way Gears of War is. It's sometimes a very inconsistent game, and it really sucks. But because it's so fast-paced and stuff, it's kind of somewhat, you know, you can kind of understand why it is inconsistent. And another thing they added was they kind of nerfed, kind of didn't nerf actives in this game. Now, to anyone that's new to a Gears of War game, an active reload is when you go to reload on this game, it's not like Call of Duty or Halo where you press a button and it manually reloads. Like right there, you saw I pressed the button and then a line went across the bar and I stopped it directly on the whitest section. And that's kind of a skill in Gears of War 3, being able to, in Gears of War, being able to do that. And also right there, you just saw it cut because I died, and after I died, our teammates took like a minute and a half to finally kill somebody, so I didn't want you to sit there and see a bunch of... I didn't want to waste your time. But active reloading in this game, you just saw I did it right there. I reloaded without shooting, so basically you can pump actives out of spawn. And the simplest way I can say this without it being somewhat confusing is every other reload is an active reload. Like if I were to still have my Lancer and I was shooting, and I would go to reload and I would hit it on the active spot, I wouldn't get an active reload. And that's a mechanic that I can find somewhat, it's somewhat balanced, but then again it's really not, because if you're in a gun battle with someone and they only shoot one shot at you and they have the Nasher, they can easily pump actives. They get, like when you reload, your entire magazine is just filled with active shots. So whenever you're in a battle with someone that has a Nasher, I think it's 8 shots. I'm probably going to sound really stupid for not knowing how many shots is in the Nasher shotgun, but it's 8 shots. So if I were to run up on someone, shoot them once, and they ran away to reload, and they only shot once at me, so I know for a fact they either have 1 active or no actives, to be countered because they hit a active reload because they just simply had the ability to, because it wasn't their other reload at the time, and they just get kind of like a free full magazine 8 shotgun shots of just stopping power. It's kind of ridiculous at times because you're getting 2 shot from ranges you don't expect, but that's simply because you're not used to the mechanic of being like that, to where someone can just simply get a whole clip of actives out of nowhere. And that was one of the complaints about Gears of War, is people pumping actives out of spawn, and they would just run around with actives the entire time. So they kind of balanced it to where it's not every single reload you can get an active reload, and now it's every other one. But you know, it has its inconsistencies and it has its times where you're like, wow, I really wish this wasn't in the game, but that's just how it is, and hopefully we'll adapt to it. So my first impressions overall of Gears of War 4 so far, there's not much to it at the moment. You can't have any skins yet, but there are going to be some because beta players get a vintage skin when the game releases. The game auto-picks your characters, and there's not a lot so far, and as of right now, there's only 3 maps in the game. Harbor, Dam, and Foundation, I believe. This one's on Dam, by the way. But I think Gears of War 4 is looking to be a good game, and it does seem really good, and it seems really smooth, and I'm liking it. I'm really liking this game. It really brings me back to Gears of War, and it's such a big step up from Judgment that, yeah, that's kind of what's making me love this game even more, is that this is a fantastic game compared to its predecessor, besides Ultimate Edition, of course, since that was a remaster of Gears of War 1. But that's pretty much it for the gameplay. And one more thing I want to do, I don't know if it's only me, the reason I left this at the end, the reason I left this at the end is because I have audio issues for some reason when I play this game. Like, someone could reload across the map and I could hear it like they're right next to my ear, and with guns like the drop shot, it's kind of scary doing that because you think you're getting shot at, but you're not. It's happening across the map. I don't know if that's only me, so if anyone happens to see this video, comment down below if you're having the same issues. But anyways, my name was Boiled Walnut. I'll catch you guys later, and here's to a fantastic year of Gears of War. Goodbye, everybody.